Welcome to the Being Your Own CEO Success Circle. This morning we're going to talk about the entrepreneurial mindset. But first, let's do some introductions. And David, you are always here first, but so you always get to go first.
Yeah, I come in as soon as I get the email. I'm Dave Flannery. I'm with Affordable Websites for Small Businesses. I work on local businesses to help them get a web presence at an affordable price. And I try to keep it very simple, like Vivek says. With that, weather today is going to be 60 degrees Fahrenheit, which is the warmest it's been since winter began. So we're looking at spring coming sooner than later. And the grass is still brown, so we need a rain to come through, and it'll green right up now that the frost is gone. So. We'll see if we got anybody in chat and there is no one in chat as of yet, so I turn it back to you, LowellAnn.
Okay, thank you. And by the way, I have to rub it in. Our winters is when the grass is green here. So, here comes Fred. Yeah.
Usually our winters are white. This one's been somewhat white, but most of the time it's white and it turns ugly
brown.
Brown for about 3-4 weeks from when the snow leaves and we get the thaw on the ground, and then the first rain that comes through, it turns everything green, all the grass green. It's quite amazing.
Right on. Oh, there's Fred just coming in. Okay, Vivek, would you like to introduce yourself?
Namaste.
Namaste.
My name is Vivekanand. Literally, it means wisdom and happiness. I am proud to share my belief with Steve Jobs and Leonardo da Vinci, who said simplicity is the ultimate in sophistication. I aim to bring time-tested wisdom and happiness together into your business and life by unifying, simplifying, and amplifying simple technology and tools. Together at Wake, we wake up our potential. So that's my elevator pitch. I am in Reading, England. The weather has been cold here, so yeah, it's still in winter. It's been raining since morning, so not snowing, but raining.
Right. You don't have to shovel rain.
Yeah.
Right on. So I'm noticing, I just turned around and looked out the window as David was talking about the weather there. It's really, really foggy downtown here. Yeah. So, but according to my phone, it's 7 degrees, I think. It's supposed to go up to quite warm today, I believe. Anyway. So, hello, Fred. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Mute. Yes, I would. Let's make sure I'm not double muted. I'm Fred Jones, creator of Our Future Leaders, where we assist all those wonderful young people to learn communication and leadership skills so they can help solve all the problems we have in the world, which are many, as we see every month. So if you know of anyone who would want to set up a youth club to help them with their communication and leadership skills, who do you know? Let me know. I have lots of information and material and able to assist them to do so. And in fact, I created a course on that thanks to LowellAnn and Vivek. And I'm on Vancouver Island in Langford near Victoria, and it is 7 degrees. Foggy. It was foggy this morning when I was doing some of my doggy duties, and it's supposed to go up to 11 degrees today.
Spring is coming.
Definitely.
Oh, thank you, Fred. Alana, you made it just in time.
Yeah, just in time, but yeah. So hi everybody, I'm Alana coming to you from Ireland, and my company is ALB Digital Marketing Solutions, where I write copy and content for small businesses to increase sales and conversions. So happy to be here.
Right on. Spring started there yet? No?
No, not really.
Oh.
It's a mixed bag here. So the big joke here is the weather report that we get. And sometimes it's all in one day. So the other day it was sunny spells, scattered showers, hail, sleet, and snow.
All in one day.
And it's true, because we happened to be driving up to Dublin one day last week, and when we left our town, it was sunny. We got partway to Dublin and we were caught in a whiteout of snow.
Yeah.
And then when we were coming back home a couple hours later, the sun was out and it was clear skies. So go figure.
Yeah, so you had it all.
We did get it all in one day.
Oh dear, that's really. Well, the expression here is, if you don't like the weather, wait a minute.
Yeah, that's probably similar to here. I like your expression better. It's shorter, you know?
Right on. All right, I should practice doing my elevator speech as well, because I have to do a recording for something that Vivek and Fred and David and I are working on. So my website, as you can see up in the corner, is LowellAnn.com. I love supporting solopreneurs with their online presence. And sometimes that means helping them develop their own website, or doing one for them, or showing them how to do numerous other things. And of course, we do this Tuesday morning thing. We've been doing this for 8 years. I was looking at that and I'm going, oh my word. So there's a couple of things I really wanted to say here. One of them was that Vivek and David and I have started a new course development project. And we've got our course outline almost finished, don't we, guys? Yeah. So that's we're hoping that it's not going to take a year for us to do it like it took Vivek and I to do the first one. We learned we're going to benefit this time from all the things learned from the last time, which is the way things do tend to go. I see Fred shaking his head because yeah. Oh dear. And go ahead, David.
Yeah, Javita says, hello, everyone. Good day to all of you.
Oh, good day, good evening to you, Javita. Welcome here. Okay, so this morning, I don't know what made me decide that we needed to talk about the entrepreneurial mindset. Maybe it was because the session we had last week was about the reflexology business itself. I mean, we interviewed Marlene, but we did talk about the business itself. And so I thought it would make sense for us to just kind of talk about. I mean, if we're I don't think it really matters whether we're doing business online or whether it's in a brick and mortar. I'm thinking that a lot of the mindsets would be similar, although maybe there are a few things that would be different. And one of the things that I absolutely knew that Vivek wanted to say was, he's already said it, it's important to simplify things. And I before we got going, I wanted to just give a shout out about Vivek, the way he is able to do and help us simplify. How many years ago was that Vivek created something that we ended up calling Chipmunk? And Chipmunk has been the way that I have been able to simplify my organization of this regular Tuesday morning thing. You folks all get an email and you get something in your calendar. All of that stuff happens automatically because of Chipmunk. So I wanted to talk about that because finding little systems that allow you to automate things that you normally need to do. So I'm very grateful for Chipmunk. So you don't get to offer simplification. You've already done it. So I guess I would start us off by saying, well, what does it take? I mean, in terms of a mindset when we're talking about entrepreneurship. And Fred, I know that you are not running what you do as a business, but in many ways, what you're a lot of the same principles apply to what you are doing. So I recognize that there is a little bit of a difference there, but and for me, the most important thing about being in business is being organized. So being organized in all my systems and making sure that I've got reminders in the right places and all of that. So, and I mean, being organized is an activity, but I think it's also a mindset as well. I don't know how the rest of you would react to that concept, but certainly being organized and and when I say organized, I mean if there are regular tasks that need to be done, is there some way that you can schedule it in some way? And we all have lots of tools that we can do that with. I might just mention one that I just started using, putting together maybe within the last month. I came to realize that I'm signed up for a lot of different apps where maybe you pay a monthly or an annual fee. Especially, I always try to pay for things annually if I can. It just makes it more organized. But then I started to realize, well, what if I don't want to reschedule? What if I don't want to do that particular thing anymore? What system have I got that's going to pop something up and give me a reminder so that I make the decision before the darn thing renews automatically? So I went into Google Calendar and I used the tasks feature and I put in make a decision, renew this. and I put a reminder in maybe 3 or 4 days before the actual renewal date. So I have all of those renewal things all put in there, so it'll pop up for me, and I don't have to worry about it. So that's the kind of thing that I'm referring to by scheduling things that tell you when to do something. So that was my first thought. I'm wondering what pops up for you folks. Does anything in particular pop up for you when I say, what does it take? What kind of a mindset does it take to be an entrepreneur?
I would say a problem-solving attitude, not assigning blame or trying to think of who is responsible for this. Rather than that,
Right.
try to solve the problem.
Yeah.
Whatever is the problem, you think of ways and means to solve the problem. When you try to solve a problem, you might even come across a situation where it might be a good business idea.
Mm-hmm.
You might offer it to others
Mm-hmm.
for a fee or whatever. It could be a business opportunity for you. So,
Mm-hmm.
but unless you have the problem solving attitude, you won't get there.
I couldn't agree more. And I might say that just recently, you and I went into a problem-solving situation. I think everybody who's here and anybody who's watching is aware that we ran into a problem last week. All of a sudden, there was no sound coming, or no picture. I guess the picture froze. And Vivek and I sat down to see if we could figure out what the heck happened. And I think it was Vivek who actually figured it out. It all came about as a result of OBS doing, there was an update, and there was no mention of what the update involved. And it took us quite a while, didn't it, to go find a forum and see if we could find out what that was about. And you actually went in and tried to replicate exactly what I was doing on your system. And then you discovered that there were 2 new sources added that would take care of the problem that the update in OBS created. Yeah.
It's it's a situation where when the software developers think of adding new features or maybe even streamlining things, they often remove things or make previously required things no longer required. So if you are still using the previous way of doing things, then what you added as a required thing will no longer be required. But if you still try to do that, then it will get into all sorts of conflicts. So the problem here was there was conflicts within the hotkey setup, and that was the behavior there was unpredictable, and so it was we got an unpredictable result. So
Yeah. And so the other thing that out of that experience that comes up for me is the willingness to test. Yeah. Because after we fixed everything, or we thought we figured it out yesterday, we did a test, didn't we, to make sure that everything today would go the way it should. So
willingness to test, and the other one, other additional thing I would say is being unafraid of failing. If you fail, you fail. So you fall down, you get up and go again. Not crying down on the floor and weeping. That won't solve anybody's problem. So you need to get up and go again.
Yeah.
So
you mean I got to get up off the floor now, huh?
right. So there is problem solving, willingness to test, and being unafraid of failing. So anything else? I think Alana, you had waved. You had something you thought of.
Yeah. I unfortunately I can't stay on this call long, so I have to get something done. I have some work I need to get done, but I just wanted to mention consistency, and that's the thing that I probably struggle with from time to time is, setting up schedules and being consistent with those schedules. And, I think the problem for me is when I'm sitting here by myself trying to get work done, people don't understand that I'm working. And so I get a lot of interruptions and distractions, especially when I'm not the only one in the house working from home. So while it's nice to have the company, it can be a challenge to basically say, okay, I got to get this done. So you got to give me some space,
Okay. So there's another mindset, willingness to set your boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm writing these down, you guys. Yeah. David, I see you waving.
Take a look at my note I just sent you. And also, one thing I feel is very important in this is that, especially when you have a problem, is to review your process and figure out where your problem happened. We have documentation that we deal with in our real estate business. Thank you, hon. And sometimes we don't get things right, so we have to fix that. Well, one of the things that I really like to do is to come up with a new process or a process change to make sure that we don't have that problem again, so that we're getting everything done correctly. And it's a challenge, and because people tend to make mistakes once in a while, and that's including me. And so when I make a mistake, I try to review the process and see if there's a better way to do it.
Mm-hmm. So I'm sorry I didn't hear what you were saying because I was looking at Javita's comment, and I had it right here in front of me, and it has disappeared on me all of a sudden. How bizarre is that? There it is. So Javita says, Vivek, do you think Russia is in a problem-solving mindset? Oh, boy, a loaded question.
it is a loaded question, and I watched a video on YouTube where, this is the American perspective. Americans were saying the Indians have not responded properly. That was their. They thought that all Indians would go up in arms and whatever. I don't know. But is Russia in problem-solving mode? Maybe from their perspective, they're probably solving their problem. But few minutes ago, I watched another video which I have passed on to LowellAnn, where it says actually China is going to rescue Russia.
Oh.
All the Western countries are trying to put pressure on Russia and trade sanctions and all the rest of it, but China is going to rescue Russia, and then China will become the new enemy for everyone else. So the West should have figured that out before trying to poke the Russian bear, as it were.
Well, so problem solving, I guess what you're saying is it depends on your own perspective.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, what is your problem can be somebody else's lunch, for all you know.
Yeah. Okay. So, I'm looking at my list here, and one of the other really important pieces for me, for sure, has been being ready to collaborate. And I wondered how you all felt about that.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And I actually wrote 3 points here. One of them is ability to hire people smarter than yourself. If you're not able to do that, then you're not an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You need to be able to hire people who are smarter than yourself, so that what is not possible by you get someone else to do it, and problem gets solved. Again, going back to problem solving attitude, you want to solve the problem.
I'd like to add to that a little bit, Vivek. You also want to hire people that have different skills than you have. You don't want to hire the same you, because you're going to have the same problems. So
yes.
You want people with different skills. I'm not good with social media, so what my next move should be is to hire someone that's good at social media.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
So in a kind of a way, not doing certain things that might make sense for your business just because you don't have a strength or a skill to do it. Yeah. Being willing to look out there and find somebody who can do it. Yeah. What else did I write down? Oh, willingness to network. And now this is a toughie, I think. When I look at what's going on in Victoria here, I mean, in early days, actually, that's how I met Jay, for example. I met Jay at a networking event, and it was sort of a monthly meetup for solo or for small business and so forth. And it seems that none of those networking events are happening anymore, just because of COVID. Or some of the groups, I know that the Fred, the group that you belong to, they get together via Zoom, don't they? Yeah. So, but I would say getting together with people on Zoom is good, but it's harder to get to know people that you didn't know before, to connect with people that you didn't know before. It's harder to do that online, I think.
Yeah. It's a little bit harder. I find it easier.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I find it easier to meet people and talk to them and whatnot, because that's my main, reaching out to different people. It's the way I do it. I have a meetup. I go to 2 meetups a month, and that's with Divvy. And I've met a number of people there, and I've worked with one or two of them, and
Online or in
Online,
person?
yeah.
Online.
online.
Okay.
I used to travel, um, I don't know, about 45 miles to a meetup because there's none where I'm at. And for WordPress, and I just didn't feel comfortable there. And I was in person. That was before COVID hit, and they did not go virtual. They just kind of disbanded when COVID hit, and so I looked for something else to talk to people about. And these two other groups, they've got people that have way more experience than I do, but it just seems like we're on equal ground. I mean, there's things that I don't know, and they know that, and I know that. I don't try to be the smartest one in the room. I just try to help where I can. And there's people that have absolutely no experience or very little experience with what we're doing, and they treat them the same way too. So I don't know. I've had good luck with Zoom meetings and networking.
Well, and I think what you hinted at there as well is being willing to support other people when they're doing things.
Right.
Yeah.
And but see, we're not in competition there.
No.
Well, none of us are taking and worrying about someone stealing my clients, or I'm going to take their clients. We're not worried about that. We're all just there to help each other. It seems like some of them I've run into, you're in direct, especially in real estate, you're in direct competition with these people, and so you don't like giving out trade secrets, your secrets, so that they can use them and steal all your clients.
Right.
So it's
Okay, and another item that I wrote down was being open to new approaches. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Have we been exposed to a lot of new approaches in the last year or two? Right?
Yeah.
And to be open to them and look at them to see whether they would be appropriate for whatever it is that you do, or whoever the clients are that you work with, etc. So, yeah. So being open to new approaches, and what was the other? Oh, thinking of new ways of marketing. That's a real important one. So how do we get our stuff out there, and how do we do that? Yeah. Anybody have any other ideas?
I think what you just said is one of the most overlooked things, because I think it's very easy to get very bogged down in what we're doing day to day, to have the foresight to think ahead, to attend marketing events, get our stuff out there, and market in general. And I know I'm absolutely guilty of that.
Well, and it's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day stuff. I mean, to get out there and meet new people and do new marketing, that takes quite a chunk of time as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, for me, the way I work is I'm a stickler for deadlines, and so I'm always looking at my deadlines and making sure I meet them. And so that's why if I get distracted in any way and my deadlines get pushed back, it makes me a little insane. So you have to be a little flexible so that you can block out some time for marketing. But because my work is so fluid, it doesn't, I haven't figured out a way to allow for that yet.
Well, when you speak about flexibility, I think we all have a tendency to not build the flexibility into our regular schedules. And
Yeah.
the other piece that comes to mind is not building enough time. I know I have a tendency quite often to say, "Oh, that should only take me an hour," and then I discover, no, it took 2 hours.
Yeah, and there was a manager I worked for a million years ago who I was going over my work schedule for the day, and he could not believe that I had allocated such short time spans for certain tasks. And he said, you have to double everything.
Mm-hmm.
And he was right. He said, if you think it takes 15 minutes, allocate half an hour. If you think it takes an hour, allocate 2. So you'll find that you're going to spend that time.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. So I think I've written, I've shared all the things that I wrote down. Anything else come up for others here?
We are talking about mindset. So
Yes.
I wrote a contrast between an employee versus an entrepreneur. Typically, an employee, whenever there is a problem, thinks in terms of who is responsible.
Mm-hmm.
That's what an employee is supposed to do. Anyway, who is responsible, and let that responsible person handle the problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's not his or her problem because someone else is responsible. Whereas if it is an entrepreneur has to think how to solve the problem,
Mm-hmm.
not who is responsible.
Right. It's always you.
Yeah, it's always you, and how to solve it, and maybe you can hire someone to solve the problem, maybe.
Yeah. Bye-bye, Alana. Thanks for joining us. We know you've got a deadline. Yeah. Right on. No, David, you're waving.
Yes. Hi, Alana. Javita's made a couple comments. She says, pay it forward. Next comment is do things rightfully. And her last comment is moral and ethical. And those are things that I try to do when I'm doing things. I've looked at training new people into building websites. I've not had any luck finding people that want to do that. Anybody out there, I'll be happy to mentor you, and so forth and so on. And doing the right things, I always try to do the right things. I mean,
That's a very subtle plug, David, for your next course.
Yes, it is. I'm trying to work my new marketing strategy, being subtle.
But I couldn't agree more with Javita. Paying it forward when somebody does a favor for you, you try to do the same for them, and also if somebody gives you good service, to pay it forward by giving them a good review and or recommending them to somebody. Those are really really important things, and they are a mindset. They are an action, but they are also a mindset.
It's like doing the right thing.
Yes.
I found myself in a situation where we had a person purchase a home that had an air conditioner outside, and everybody assumed the air conditioner was hooked up. Mm-hmm. And I came in the day of closing and I said, hey, this air conditioner isn't hooked up. I hadn't been in the house before that, and comes to find out on the contract, the air conditioner was not checked off. Mm. Okay, but we had told the people that there was an air conditioner in there. Oh. Now, okay, it's very simple. Someone that I could legally say, you're responsible for making sure that everything on the contract is satisfactory. I advise you, but making sure everything's satisfactory. So I don't have to buy you an air conditioner. But doing the right thing was, we told them there was an air conditioner in there, so we bought the air conditioner. And that's the type of stuff that you have to do. And sometimes that hurts really bad, but it's what you have to do. In the long run, it doesn't, because what will happen is that person will say, hey, they're great realtors, because when they make a mistake, they stand behind it.
Right.
They don't try to wiggle out of it and find a way that it's your problem. So
yeah. And the moral, ethical, or the right thing, all of those things. I mean, I guess another way to express that would be to be really clear in terms of what your guiding principles are, and to live by them.
Yeah. The golden rule.
Yeah.
That's
Well, it's that too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do unto others as you would want them to do unto you.
Yeah. So, Fred, you've been very quiet. Did you have anything you would like to contribute, or would you prefer to give a last word?
Well, you rang a lot of bells. I'm not sure if my internet, if you don't hear me, because I'm getting things with my internet, little messages, I'll turn off my my video, and sometimes that helps. So let me do that.
Okay.
And there was a lot of things that resonated with me, what was said. I think number one that really resonated with me was what Vivek said about problem solving. You don't have a business if you're not solving problems. Doesn't matter what. If you're making automobiles, you're helping people solve problems. If you're making iPhones, if you're coaching people, it does not matter what you're doing. If you're not solving people's problems, you don't have a business. That's it.
Good point.
And so that's number one. That is it. And if you don't have that attitude, you're not going to be successful if you're not solving somebody's problem, whatever it may be. So that really resonated. And the other thing was consistency, routines, and focus. Those are so important. And Dave said, hey, when something we made a mistake, we go back to the system and find out where. That is so more important, rather than the distractions that we often have. We get all these shiny things, and we look at this one, and then we try that one. So like you said, okay, we got to look at new marketing, but if we try marketing and we don't persist and we don't put a system in and we don't find where the mistakes are, nothing will work. So that's why I said you resonate with so many things. There was also failure was mentioned by Vivek, I think, as well. And that really brought back to me the growth mindset versus the fixed mindset. That is, I think her name was Carol Dweck. She did a lot of studies on people, particularly students. Fixed mindset is, hey, I had a problem. Oh, I can't do it. I can never solve those problems. I'm not good at this. Whereas a growth mindset is 2 words, not yet.
Yes.
Okay, I haven't solved the problem yet. Now, maybe you cannot solve the problem, but also what Vivek mentioned as well, you've got to be able to go to other people who can help you, who have those skills. You know, not the same thing. And I think Dave mentioned that as well. You want to find people who have skills that you don't have that can help you solve the problems. Find those people that you can work with. There's one thing about, was also mentioned, collaboration. I have given so many things, competition versus collaboration. When I was in Africa, I found people collaborated much more than they do in the competitive North American environment. And I believe very strongly that you can share your trade secrets with people. That's not a problem, because they will not do it the way you do it. They agree with you, yes, that's it. But if you give them your trade secrets, they might try, and they might even find a better way than you did. And because you help them with the trade secret, they will help. This is the collaboration. They will share that with you, and you help build up all the solutions, and you solve those problems, and you build the systems that work. That is, you look at those, some very successful companies, they're not afraid. They don't have trade secrets. They will share it. That happened in Africa. Often it doesn't happen as much in North America, but there are people in North America who we can point to who have done that, and it's been very successful. So those are the things. The challenge, I think, is coming back to your routines and your focus and so on. If you don't have those approaches, and again, what Javita said, hey, if you're not working, you only are focused, I'm going to earn money, and that's all, and we're not worried about the ethics and working, paying it forward and so on. Hey, you're not going to last. You will not last in business if it's just money. Everything is that. So there's so many elements here, but I think it's got to do with solving problems, being consistent, having routines, and avoid all those terrible distractions.
Good one. There's a really good one to add too. Avoiding distractions.
And that's a challenge. So I like the Pomodoro technique. When you have something, all right, I'm going to try for 25 minutes and take a 5-minute break and see how far I got. Rather than allocate 2 hours, allocate 4 25-minute sessions if it takes you that. Don't say, oh, I got 2 hours, because guess what? You give it more time, it takes that much amount of time. But you might find if I only work 25 minutes, you might solve it in 25 minutes. Maybe it takes you 2.5 hours. So it's 5 25-minute sessions. So don't say, oh, I got 2 hours or I got 3 hours. No, maybe it'll take me 3 hours. I'll put it, but I'm going to have these 25-minute and a 5-minute break, the Pomodoro technique. That's gets you organized rather than the distractions. So there were so many things that resonated with me, and other people. You can't do it by yourself. You need help. Discuss it. That's why I like coming to this session. I learn a lot here. And some people here have helped me a lot. So that's why this is important. There's so many things. I can go on and on, but those are the main ones that hit me. Well done. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, right on. Well, thank you, Fred. That's a nice summary. And I'm just looking at the time here. I think we probably covered as much as we can. I would like to remind everyone it's important to do what you love with passion. And to let you know that next week, David and Alana are going to talk about phrase. So how does phrase help you write is the title of our session next time. So I'm looking forward to that. So goodbye, and we'll see you again next week. And with that, I shall do the outro.